On this week's video, I'm going to show you how I made this super cute little mini spring flower basket, just using a few simple materials. So this is just a lid. So this is going to be the base. This is just off a tube of munchies that I've kept since Christmas. They would have been my son's. He loves munchies. And then I've just cut off that little tab that you use to like lift it open. So for the first time, I'm using cotton buds. I'm loving just using simple materials that most people have got in the house. So if you wanted a copy of my DIYs, as you'll know, it's usually things you've got in the house. And yeah, it's quite simple techniques that I use to create things that look pretty good. So I've just bent the end of each one, just where the cotton like kind of meets the stick. Just bent of each. I've just done a few too many there. I'd rather have too many than too little. So I've got my hot glue heating up. This is one of those crafts where if we didn't have hot glue, it would take forever. Excuse me. And then I'm just going to glue a little dot here. So I've got the lid turned like upside down. So this is like the inside of the lid. Then I'm just gluing my cotton buds on here, making sure that they're not hanging over the edge and they're quite level with the lid there. So I thought what I would do was, so that I get like an even amount of cotton buds going around this. So this is going to create the structure that we can make the basket on, that we can weave around. So I thought I would put one in each corner, like a clock, 12, 3, 6 and 9, and then see what cotton buds would fit in between. So at this point, this looked like a super cute little Barbie table. I remember making things for my Barbie doll when I was a kid out of just bits of things because it was so expensive, wasn't it? This would have made a cute little side table or a little stool, put little things on it. Oh, I'm such a child still. I have thought about making miniature things like that, little tables and chairs and what have you. Anyway, back to the DIY. So it worked out that 2 extra buds fitted in between each of the corner ones. Does that make sense? So all together there was 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there was 12 all together going around. Now it looks like some kind of sea creature. So I've just done it like that and just made sure that they're all pretty much straight. Just roughly, doesn't have to be. And then I've just flattened them all down. I love how you can just lift them up and flatten them down. I flatten them down so that I can create put a little disc on the bottom just to tidy it up. This bit's not essential. So I used the tube of munchies as a guide, but I had to make it smaller because I want these arms to be able to lift up still like this. So I ended up just having to cut this quite a bit smaller than the lid. And then a nice big dollop of hot glue on there, and then just squidge it on. You won't see, this is going to be inside the basket, so you really won't see it. I just wanted it tidy. I just wanted that area covered over. The hot glue is brilliant. It wasn't going to be lifting. These weren't going to be coming loose anytime soon. So that is it. That's the basis for building the basket. So next, good old twine. What would I do without my twine? I've just made a little loop and just tied it around the bottom of one of these arms. I didn't bother gluing it on. I didn't seem to need to. And then just trimmed it off just so that little length doesn't get in the way. And then I just took the twine and just wove it round. This is only a little basket, and it did take a little while just because you need to really make sure that it's you're not pulling it too tight. And every now and again, just squeeze the cotton buds up just to check that the shape is roughly what you want and you're not doing it too tight or too loose. But I did realise after I'd gone around in and out, and then I realised it was the same, in and outs were the same. So I think the problem is, can you see here, it looks like it's going to be just going around the same way and not like different, like in and out. I think it's because I used an even amount of cotton buds, so I used 12. If I'd used 11 or 13, then this wouldn't have happened. And then it would have wove in and out in each one and then just continued round. But I just continued on. It didn't make too much difference. It just meant every now and again, instead of weaving in and out, like around one and in front of one, I was doing two. I would go around two every now and again, or, you know. But as long as you keep pushing the twine down, because I was worried it would show. I wasn't bothered about the pattern being affected slightly. I was more bothered it would show bits of the cotton sticks. Anyway, so it was fine. I didn't have to redo it. And then I just wound it right round to the top. And then a little bit hot glue just here. I couldn't really get much more twine on at this point. And then just secured it with some hot glue. Just because it was quicker than tying a knot. Held that on, trimmed that off, and then that's the basis of the basket. So here is a little shot glass. I didn't even know you could get these. So I bought a pack of these recently, just for craft projects. Thank you for my patrons. I've just bought a few little craft supplies. Basic things like paper straws and skewers and things, just to kind of make new crafts with, because I like just using simple things like that. So basically I've just wrapped that around the top there of the basket. It was going to be a vase, and then I decided it was going to be more like a basket. And then I've just cut an extra bit off another little shot glass, or a little shot cup, just to extend it, and I just taped it on just because, and it wasn't quite long enough to reach around, and I would rather have more than less of this. So this is just a little trim that's going to go around the top of the basket to hide where the cotton buds ends are. So I've just glued a little bit of twine on there, a little bit of hot glue. Now I just carefully wound this round this little section here, around the rim, and then around the little bit body here. I did put a little dot of glue every now and again, but I don't even know if I needed to. If you do this nice and straight and neat, you maybe don't even have to use glue, just at the ends, just to secure it on. You could even tie a knot. So just wound this all the way around. Just made sure that this was still curving. You see how it's curving here. If it's straight and then you bend it, obviously it might show the gaps. But the rims of cups are bent anyway, so generally keep the shape when you're winding twine around. And then I just double check that this was going to fit around the top of my basket. So it looks long enough. So I've just trimmed the extra little bit that won't be needed. And then just trimmed off a little bit of the red cord there, which I could see. I'd rather leave extra, like I say, and then you can just trim it off. Then I just took my scissors and trimmed off some of the heads of the cotton buds. And then I used some hot glue to just put around the top here. I was going to stick the trim around, and then I thought, no, first of all, I'm going to just pop some of this twine rope around the top. I'm not too bothered if you can see in the vase and you can see the little cotton bud bits, because you won't really see that when it's finished. So I just pop that around the top, just to create a nice, just to hide the tops of the cotton buds. And then I glued on the twine trim that we made, and then just knitted it together there, pushed it in nicely with hot glue. And then that's the majority of the little basket made. But the bottom has still got the little base that we started off with. So I just used some hot glue and then just some twine. Just use a little cotton bud there just to hold it in place so I don't burn my fingers. Oh, right, let me just say, coming up very soon, just watch the screen. There's like a little, what I'm calling a little glue bird. Not that. Keep watching. Have we already missed it? There's a little piece of glue that goes across, wisps across the screen. Oh, I'm getting a shiver thinking about it. I think it's just about to happen now. So just keep watching. It goes from the left bottomish across there and down. Oh, such a shiver. It was totally like a ghostly wisp, wasn't it? I know it's probably just the glue because it's little fine strands and the sun shining in, but it was the way it kind of curved back down. Oh, sorry. Okay, right. One advantage to voicing over a video, because my videos, I just take ages doing stuff, so that's why I have to voice over my videos, otherwise it would just take us forever to edit it. So next I've just took some more of the rope twine and just held it here, thinking actually it's going to be, I'm going to make this into a basket, and it looks better, it looks good with a tall handle. And then when I put some flowers in, you'll still see the handle kind of peeping through. So I just made sure I got that exactly halfway around, and then just glued on with hot glue this lovely chunky thick rope twine. I think that's what it's called. And then the other side, making sure it was exactly halfway across. And then that is my super cute little spring flower basket. So around the bottom here, there was just a bit of twine that was lifting up. So just put a little bit of hot glue and just moved it. It just wasn't fully secure around the base there. And then just made sure that was nice and tidy and stuck on. So that's the little basket. I think that's quite cute. Next, some flowers. So these artificial flowers were from B&M stores. I don't think you have that in America, do you? Here in the UK, B&M's good. And we've just getting a brand new big store, which is so handy. And these flowers were, for that whole bunch you can see there, including the ones I've pulled out, obviously, they were like 2 bunches for, 2 for £2. So this whole bunch was just £1. So then I just checked the height that I needed the flowers to be. And then instead of snipping off the end of the stem here, I just bent it. And then, you know, it means I can use these in other crafts if I want to in the future. If I just keep the stem long, just rather than just cutting it. This one I bent a little bit higher up just to give it a little bit difference in height of the little daisies. I hope you can see this properly from this angle I'm doing it at. And a little bit greenery here. I'm so glad I managed to get a video on this week, because I've been away on my Easter adventure around Scotland, which was amazing. I've gotten loads of creative inspiration from the outdoors. I love nature and I love being in nature, and I always feel really creative when I've been out. So that is my little mini spring flower basket. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I don't know if you've seen my video, I think 2 weeks ago now, where I made this little Easter bonnet bunny. That's just made by using just 2 plastic eggs. And I done a similar technique with the wrapping the twine around. So thank you for watching. Again, please subscribe if you haven't already. I think 95% of my watchers aren't subscribed to my channel. So I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. Yeah, help me be able to do this more, because I love making crafts. Have a great week. Bye.